and welcome to Supermom Entrepreneur Webinars. We're so excited to be with you tonight. We have some amazing things to talk about today. We're going to be talking about the real truth with Suzan Hart, how to create a powerful, profitable business in the direct marketing industry, stress of success that impacts your money, your marriage, and your mindset. My name is Carolyn Dickinson, and I'm a success coach, and I am the founder of Supermom Entrepreneur and the co-producer of I Am the Boss events. I absolutely love what I do. I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, and I love supporting entrepreneurial women, men in getting their business going as well as taking it to the next level. I love doing these webinars because it gives me an opportunity to share with you some of these amazing women and men who've created phenomenal businesses for themselves and have learned some valuable lessons that they're here to share with us today. Suzan Hart is a trainer, coach, president of Hart Zone, and the author of MLM, Women and Leading with Character. She's been developing productive leaders for over 15 years. She's helped organizations and entrepreneurs like many of us build cohesive teams and increase productivity. Her vision is to tap into the leader that lives within each of us, a millionaire in the profession of network marketing. She has inspired others to break free and learn the skills to create passive residual income. Suzan is the founder of The Fit is the New Sexy movement. I like that. This timely movement represents men and women who have drawn a line in the sand and have chosen to reclaim their health, co-create generational wealth, and become the example to physical and financial fitness in their community. She has shared the stage with the likes of John Gray, Jack Canfield, Robert Allen, Forbes Riley, and Bill Walsh. This is a woman who has moved from living from paycheck to paycheck to financial freedom and living the life she loves. Please help me welcome this absolutely amazing woman, Suzan Hart. Suzan, are you there?
Carolyn, I'm so excited to be here. I'm here. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We so appreciate you taking the time to share with us your knowledge, your experience, and everything that you have to offer to teach us about how to have a powerful direct marketing business.
I'm so excited to be here. What you're doing is just so valuable because I don't think there's many environments where we get to have these types of discussions. So thank you so much for just creating this space for all of us.
My pleasure. Before we get started, let me quickly say this to our guests. As we go along, Suzanne's going to be touching on some amazing points for us, and her and I are going to be chatting back and forth. We're going to create an opportunity along the way at different aspects. You know, also ask questions, make comments, share with us. Suzanne is absolutely here to help you and support you. So we'll give you that opportunity. If you look on your screen, you can either raise your hand or send me a message if something is not working, and then I'll ask the question on your behalf. So let's enjoy this webinar, and Suzanne, it's all yours.
Well, thank you. You know, a great place to start, Carolyn, is to really I begin by sharing my story because it'll put everything into perspective in terms of how I got to where I am right now. And I've been an entrepreneur for about 11, 12 years now. And I will tell you that 12 years ago, my life was totally not the way it is now. My background is family, individual, and group counseling, and I was managing one of the largest drop-ins in the downtown core of the city of Toronto. For those listening, if you don't know, a drop-in is a day program for women who have mental health issues, women who have addictions issues, women who are living on the streets at risk of losing their homes. And I managed a crisis team. We ran a day program that saw 150 women a day. And I was literally exhausted. The pace of that job had me on what I call the brink of burnout. It didn't matter how much I slept. I never woke up feeling rested. I was working 40 hours to 60 hours a week, driving an hour to work, an hour from work. I was in a marriage that was upside down due to financial stress and the lack of time. We were $50,000 upside down in credit card debt. with 3 boys getting ready to go to college, and truly, I woke up one day and said, this cannot be my life. And I would go out every day, I'd put on that big, bright smile, put on the mask, and pretend that everything was okay. But truly, I was suffering in silence, and I was searching and praying for an answer. I was angry, I was frustrated, I was embarrassed, because like many people listening, I thought I'd done everything right. I have a college degree, I have a university degree, so I have a great education. I'm a hard worker. I went to work and climbed the proverbial corporate ladder. I was at the top of my game. You know, there was nowhere for me to go as far as climbing any further as far as income, yet I was upside down. My life wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I began to search, and that's when I became introduced into network marketing. And it is, you know, I tell people I am truly a proud professional network marketer. I love this profession. I think it's an extraordinary vehicle that allows the average person to fulfill their dreams and do extraordinary things. And it's my passion. I love it, and it's afforded me all sorts of opportunities. You know, it's changed my financial portfolio. It's changed me personally. I'll give me the opportunity to travel, do what I want, grow, step into new arenas, you know. And without this vehicle and without this opportunity, my life wouldn't be where it is. So I just wanted to put that out there, Carolyn, as before we jump into, because I know you can relate to what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. You know, it is one of the best industries out there. And a big reason behind that is, as you said, you know, the millionaire inside of us. It's also the industry that's created the most millionaires. And people jump into this industry because they are looking for that out. They are looking for that opportunity to really help them make a difference in their life and change things. The biggest problem, as you and I both know as well, though, it's also very difficult because, you know, unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who really don't understand this industry, and they're teaching other people, unfortunately to say, the wrong way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was truly blessed because when I stepped into network marketing, I was guided and mentored by some professional career networkers, and that's huge because they looked at this as a profession, as a career, and I want people to think about that, because a career and a profession has a way of doing. It has skills. There are tools. You must gain experience, like everything else. And there's a process. There's time. And so they set me up for success. They didn't tell me, you know, jump in, you're going to make money really quickly. They let me know that this is an amazing profession. There's so much available to you, but it's going to take you learning the skills, dedicating yourself, committing to a process, and putting in the work. And then success would be yours. And I took them to heart, and I'm so glad I did. You know, I think the first place to start is just to help people understand the power of network marketing and what it truly is. Because when I speak to most people, and we just had this conversation earlier this week, is they believe that network marketing is sharing, or some will say pushing products on their friends and family. And when people tell me that, I go, oh my goodness, this is so much more than that. Network marketing is a method of distribution. It is a way of getting products to a market that allows the average person to participate with little investment, unlike any other business opportunity out there. When I started, Carolyn, the first book I was recommended to read was Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow Quadrant.
Love that book.
You know, and I'm so glad that that was the first piece, because without that, I probably would not have grasped network marketing to the level I did. So I want to take a moment and kind of give everyone listening an insight to my view of network marketing and why I am so passionate about it. So I want you to think of, you know, all the different ways we can make money. And the question that Robert Kiyosaki asked that really got me was, he said, what is wealth? And it's a great question because there's a huge difference between making money and creating wealth. And for most people, they don't know the distinction. So when I heard that question, I said, wealth is having money in the bank. It's having a great job, a great house. It's driving an awesome car. That was my thought originally. The answer that Robert Kiyosaki gave was actually what got my attention. He said that wealth is actually, it's actually being able to make money without physically working. Think about that, the ability to make money without physically working. And I thought to myself, I don't know anybody who does that other than a rock star and someone who writes books. So, but then I began to read more, and this is what I learned. So if you're looking at this picture, the first box that you'll see is the employee box. You have a job. And what I want to say to everybody listening is when we go to school and we get a great education, what we are actually being trained for, in my opinion, is we're being trained to be employees that fill great jobs. The challenge with that is that somebody will decide two things. They will decide how much you're worth and how many hours you're actually going to work. So Kevin, imagine if I said to you, I think you're worth $25 an hour, and I'm going to give you a position of 40 hours per week. Now, most of us go, that's great. I have a job. I have an income coming in. However, the challenge with that is that your income is finite. So Carolyn's income would be $20 an hour times 40 hours a week. And the only way she could make more money is for someone to decide she was worth more or for someone to give her more hours. Either way, her income is finite. So what happens here is someone's determining your worth, and they're determining how much income how many hours you're going to work, and therefore whatever your wealth quotient is finite. But the other thing to think of is that your ability to create wealth is directly attached to time. If you are working, you earn dollars. The minute you're not working, your ability to earn dollars stops. So it doesn't fit Robert Kiyosaki's equation of how to create wealth, right? It's the ability to make money when you're not physically working. So let's go into the second box. The second box is self-employed. Now, most people want to be self-employed, and self-employed means you work for yourself. What I say is when you are self-employed, you've actually become your own employee. You've purchased a job for yourself. Now, you may tell yourself what to do, when to do it, all those wonderful things, but the equation's still the same. You decide how much you're worth, and you decide how many hours you're going to work. But because there's still only one of you, you're still only going to earn income when you are physically working, which is quite interesting. The other part of that is most self-employed people, even if they have staff and they have people that are working for them, they're usually the first to arrive, the last to leave, and they find out very soon that they're owned by their business rather than their business owns them. So if you look at both of these equations, your wealth is still attached to how much time you're working. Now, Carolyn, what's interesting about that, and I'll let you comment on this, and I'll invite you to comment on this, is 90% of the population lives on this side of the equation, on the left side of the equation. 90% of the population either have a job or they're self-employed. Their income is tied to trading times for dollars, so they're only making income when they're physically working.
You know what? That's tough. I mean, we've all been there where that's the case, in our situation anyway. And it's a very difficult situation to be in because you're right. If you get sick, if something happens, and this is something I also talk about, it's great to have a job, but what happens when your kids are sick? You think your boss is going to give you a week off so that you can be home to take care of your child. And the same thing with being self-employed. You know, the reality is when you have appointments, you have clients, same thing. Let's say you have a sick child or you're not feeling good or something happens to you and you end up in the hospital, God forbid. Again, you're in the situation that you're not working and there's no income coming in during that time. It's a very difficult position to be in, and a lot of people are in it.
Absolutely. And you know, the other thing I want to share is I remember when I managed that drop-in, and it was one of the best experiences for me. And I had women using our services were doctors, lawyers, social workers, you know, all these professionals, well-educated women, and they're either living on the street, at risk of losing their housing, all these things going on. And when I asked them the question, what happened, they'd say either two things. I lost my job, then I lost my health, or I lost my health, and I lost my job. And for me, that was paramount, because what they were saying was that all these things were tied to me physically working. And when I wasn't able to physically work, it disappeared.
That's right.
So let's talk about, yeah, it's scary.
It is.
So let's talk about being on the left side of the equation. So the left side of the equation starts with the B, and it's the business owner. And a business owner is someone who owns a system of people working for them. I want you to think about that, a system of people. And what I usually say to people when I do this, I go, you know, if you are an employee, you are working for a business owner, and you are part of his system. And he is leveraging you, right? And you are probably building his dream and providing him with the free time that we all desire. It's an interesting process, because when people are in business, what they're doing is they're leveraging the productivity of other people. They're leveraging the buying power of other people. They're leveraging the skills of other people. They're leveraging the creativity of other people. They're leveraging the average person to death. In other words, they're leveraging that 90% of people. And they have many of us working for them, and that's what's producing their results. And that's what's allowing them to create what we call time freedom. Because rather than having 100% of their own efforts, they've decided to take a small percentage of all of our effort and build a system around it, and now they have a business. What's interesting, Carolyn, is most people who own a business, who are self-employed, think they have a business. A business Okay? So when I looked at network marketing, what I realized was it allowed me, the average person, to own a system where people worked not for me, but with me. And that's so key. It allowed me, the average person, to own a business that had a system where people worked with me. And I was able to leverage their buying power, their productivity, their creativity. I was able to leverage their network, their database, all these things. And we were in business together, although we were all independent business owners. That was the power of the system, and that is what got me. It allowed me to have 1% of hundreds and even thousands of people's effort versus 100% of mine. So what I want you to think through is, Carolyn, when I went on vacation, I had hundreds of people that were still doing business, and I was getting paid. When they went on vacation, I was doing business, and they were getting paid. If you understand this, you'll understand that network marketing is a system that allows it to bring product to market and allows you to create the freedom you desire because you're able to leverage the productivity of other people.
And that, you know, that system is so amazing. Sorry to interrupt, but that system is so amazing. And I want to bring out some key points that you said, make sure that people haven't missed this, because it's so vital. It's a system that people work with me. See, I always think that even in direct marketing, I've heard people say it, well, they're working for me. No, 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 no. They work with you because they also own their own business, as you said. And the second thing that is so key is the leverage. We're leveraging their efforts and the efforts of the 250 people. At least every person knows 250 people that they know. Mm-hmm. And that's so vitally important for people to really grasp and get. Because the reality is, the more people you have working with you, the more money all of them are going to make.
Absolutely. And you know, the one thing I love about where my passion for this profession is that I only get paid when I get you paid, Carolyn. My check only grows when I am able to help you grow your check. That's the real spirit of network marketing. My mentor, Jimmy Smith, says it's democracy at its finest. It's not that I win and you work hard. The model says that I'm going to leverage your productivity, your buying power, your skill sets, but you're also going to leverage my productivity, my buying power, and my skill sets. And if I help you grow and be successful, the reward is I'm going to grow and be successful. It's pure partnership.
It's amazing.
But we are independent business owners. Okay? And the last part of the quadrant is I, which is investment. What is beautiful about network marketing for me is that it creates an investment process. So what I look at is that, you know, imagine having a passive residual income that is $250,000, $300,000, that you build it solid, and once you stop working, it continues to grow and it continues to produce the money. In order to have a $250 passive income, that's like having $250, you know, every year, $250,000 every year, you would have to have over $10 million, $20 million in the bank, right? That's the power of this network marketing process. It creates wealth, which is money that comes in when you're not physically working, and the leverage of that is equal to having 20 million sitting in the bank. Now, I don't know about you, Carolyn, but I don't have 20 million sitting in the bank, but I get paid a passive residual, multiple six-figure income every year, and I work less now than I did when I was trading time for dollars. I know how to work hard. This is about working smart.
Such a simple, amazing concept, Susan. And I think you and I have talked about this in the past, and what frustrates me is there's so many people in the industry that make it so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you know, and I think for me, I was talking to someone today, and he said, you know, how do you get people into network marketing? I said, you don't talk about products first. You don't talk about circles and comp plans first. You talk about the profession and make sure they understand what they're getting into. Because once they understand it, it makes sense in their world. So I always start with, let's start with the Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. Let's start with leverage. Let's start with the network marketing profession so you really understand what's available to you. And then let's talk company. Then let's talk everything else. Because if you don't understand the magic behind this method of distribution, then you're always going to feel like you're chasing your friends.
Yeah. I think it's very, very powerful for people to, you know, and I think you agree, Susan. It's like anybody who's listening, copy this. Start talking like this to the people you're working with. Start sharing with them. It's like, we're sharing this with you for you to do that. So, you know, it's an amazing concept and it's simple. And I think most of the people that are on this call, I'm pretty sure has, you know, heard of or seen Robert Kiyosaki or read a few of his books or heard of the quadrant. And it's a very, very powerful page to share with people the possibilities.
Absolutely. And I think the piece here is that in my opinion, no company will truly make sense in the long term, for a long-term commitment, until people understand why would I do it. The reason why I would do it was I was tired. I was frustrated. I needed an answer that would take me out of the rat race of just working really hard and having 1 month left at the end of my money every month. And I didn't have an answer. When this was shown to me, it hit me in that, oh my goodness, this is my answer. And then I wanted to know, well, how can I make this happen for me? What are the vehicles, what are the companies that could allow this to happen for me? And that's when I started asking that question, because I understood this.
Mm-hmm.
Until I didn't, if I didn't, it wouldn't land the same way, because I saw a way for freedom here. I didn't see a way to just make money, and that's a different concept. I saw a way to create wealth, to create generational, to have freedom, not just make money. You can make money any old way. You can only create wealth through systems and leverage. That's the difference. So I want to go on and talk about how I look at network marketing, and once people come in and they say, yes, I'm open, there are some key things that I want to talk about that are very must be in place for someone to have success. So one is, this is like you've evaluated a company and you've decided, what, I understand why I'm doing this. I understand the difference between making money, creating wealth. I like this company. I've looked at it. There's a match in terms of the product. I'm in love with the product. I believe in their compensation plan. Now it's time for me to go to work and create my own success. And for me, there are some key things that need to be in place for success to happen. One is a fundamental understanding of the profession, right? The industry of network marketing, and that's done through, understanding what we talked about earlier, the cash flow quadrant, how network marketing works, what is this method of distribution, leverage, productivity, buying powers, understanding all those things. Once that's in place, the next thing that must be present is a system. Because remember, a business that creates wealth has a system. So no matter what company you're in, you want to ensure that there's a system in place, and that you have a system that you're going to bring your team into. My best analogy is I want you guys to think of the last time you went to an airport. If you notice, when you walk through the doors of the airport, no one greets you and says, let me take your hand and bring you to your gate, because the airport has a system. We walk through the doors and we all know what airline are we flying. We walk up to that counter and we check our bags, they give us our ticket, and they tell us we got to go through security. So we walk over and they tell us where it is. When we get to security, they put us through, and then we look at our ticket again and we go, oh, I need to go to my gate. And then I go to my gate and I sit and I wait till I'm called. And when I'm called, I know I have a seat. That is a system that every single airport has. That's why airports are successful, right? And that's why when we go to the airport, we all know pretty well what to do. It's a system. Every network marketing business that is successful has a very clear system. So when people walk through your doors, it's like you do A, you do B, you do C, you do D. And it's a simple system, right? It's not complicated, but it's a clear system. It's the track to run on. I want you to think of arriving at the airport and it has no signs and there's no system in place, and you've got to get to your gate because you're going on vacation. You would be frustrated. What often happens, Carolyn, in my opinion, is people get into a company and they reinvent the wheel. They have no guidance. They don't know the system that they're following, and it becomes like a frustrated person who came in all excited, but they don't have a clear track to run on. Therefore, they're chasing their tail, or they're building one, and it's like they're building a skyscraper, but they're not an architect. They don't know what they're doing. It's the same sort of thing. So the first one is having a very clear system. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree 100%. And, I've been in this industry like yourself. Well, I've been in a long time as well. And I remember being with some companies that actually didn't have systems in place and how frustrating that was. Nowadays, I'm pretty sure that every single direct marketing company out there has systems in place. The biggest challenge is people come in, like you said, and they want to recreate the wheel. instead of following the system. It's a foundation. It's been working for many people in the past. No one says you can't add your own, little character to what you're doing, but always learn the foundation and the system of the company you're dealing with, because in most cases, I would say probably 98% of the time, it's a tried and true system that has worked for so many people. So why change it? Why recreate it? Teach everyone to do the same thing. As you said, we don't want to lead people by the hand. We really want people to become independent, because if you spend all your time leading people by the hand and pulling them, you're not going to make any money, they're not going to make any money, and everybody's going to be extremely frustrated.
And the thing to remember is network marketing is based on leverage, right? And the only way I'm able to leverage is if there's a system that people can follow as my team gets bigger, that can be trained and taught independent of me.
That's right.
In other words, Carolyn can go to my team. I'm going to train her on the system. The system is going to be so simple. It's going to have like 4 or 5 steps that she'll be able to go, oh, I understand the system. When Carolyn has someone join her, she's going to say, let me teach you the system that I was taught. Right? And if it's simple, she'll be able to teach it. If it's complicated, she won't be able to teach it. So in network marketing, the key thing is that you follow a simple turnkey system. And that's what we call your foundation for success. So that's the first piece that must be in place.
I agree.
Is that there must be a system.
And don't try to change it right away.
No. It's funny. I've been with my company for 11 years. The system has been tweaked, but it's the same system.
Exactly.
It's the exact same system from when I began. We've gotten better at it. We've gotten tighter at it. It's gotten clearer in terms of explaining it, but it's the same system. That system has created 130 plus millionaires. Why change it?
That's right. Oh, I agree. It's really something people need to understand. At this point, let's do this. Since we've covered a couple of points here about really understanding network marketing and the importance of systems, let's see if anybody has any questions or any comments to share with us. So if you're in the audience, put up your hand, or you can send me a note with a question. Let me know when I can unmute you and you can ask the question. Everybody's very quiet, Suzanne. You're just so amazing explaining all of this. We don't have any questions at this time. So you know what? I'll ask you a question. I have this question for you. What do you do with, say you have enrolled somebody, and I've seen this happen, and they're so pumped about getting people in. They're, the leader that's introduced them into the business is having a really hard time getting them to follow the system and not create wheel. And so they're going off and they're pulling people in randomly, which is great because you don't want to stop someone from doing that. However, there are challenges to that as well. How would you handle a situation like that?
That's a great question. And one of the things I've learned is the power of agreements. And in everywhere you go, there are agreements. So my analogy to most people is, I know when I got hired, no matter where I went, there was a job description and there was an orientation. And in the orientation, they kind of showed me the lay of the land, how this company ran and what was done. Consider that in any network marketing business, any team that you join, there's a period of orientation where you want to learn the system, the process, and the culture of that team. And you take time to do that. So I ask two people two questions when I start working with them, and I train my people to ask them these two questions. One is I want to know how committed they are, right? And I'll tell them that this is going to take a 100% commitment, and I'm looking for you a 10. I'm a 10. And the second question I'll ask is how coachable are they? And they'll say, and most people say I'm coachable. And I'll say on a scale of 1 to 10, how coachable are you? And most people go, I'm a 9 or I'm a 10. And I'll go, okay, so let me describe coachable for you. Coachable is that until we get you paid, that you understand that I know the lay of the land, because I've been here a little bit before you, that I'm going to request that you do what I ask you to do in the way I ask you to do it until we get you paid and you learn our system. Once that has occurred, I'm going to let you go, and I've done my job. I've fulfilled my responsibility. Can we agree upon that? And
That's a great solution.
It tends to reel people in. And I say, and I teach my leaders, the leaders that I work with, is that you want to create that agreement from the get-go, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if someone's not coachable, I'm totally cool. Then you actually don't need me in place, right? Because I can only teach you the system that I've learned. So if you're going to go off and do it in your own way, I'm not in the best position to help you. But if I show you the lay of the land and you understand it, you're going to be able to bring your brilliance and your creativity to it. And you're probably going to end up teaching me something once you understand how our system runs. And most people, once they get it, they go, okay, all right, right? Now we've created a context for your brilliance to occur, sort of thing.
I love that. That's a powerful statement, Suzan. Bring your brilliance and creativity to the table once you've learned the foundation.
Absolutely. Because now you know the lay of the land. And you know, we all have our brilliance. And, you know, I have people on my team will say, why don't we do this? Or change your wording or ask these questions. I'm like, oh my goodness. But until they lived the system, until they lived in it, they couldn't bring that in the same way. They didn't have the context.
Absolutely. Great answer. Thank you.
You're welcome. The next piece for me, the next bucket, if you will, is skill sets. Oh, let's go to tools. It's tools. And tools are, I tell you, the heartbeat of your system if you want it to work well. And it's your heartbeat of duplication. So remember, in network marketing, our whole goal is to leverage and create a system where people act independently. So what you want to do is you want to ensure, and all companies have this in place, is tools that do the presenting for you, that share the company for you, that teach people how they get paid for you, and the tools do the talking and the presenting for you. So what your team is left to do is to actually bring people to the tools and let the tools do the presentations. That is so key, because if you think about it, remember I said wealth is created when you are not physically working. This process is set up so that you get to use more tools than yourself. So I can actually present to 10 people at the same time by using a tool called a webinar. I can present to people in different cities by using a tool called conference call. Okay, and having one person, my expert, present to all my people. I can present to someone by giving them a CD or sending them a link to a recorded call while I'm talking to somebody else. The tools do the presentation for you, and it makes it duplicatable. The other beautiful thing about this is, remember, network marketing allows the average person to do extraordinary things, and it gets them going quickly. If you are brand new and all I said to you is if you could invite someone and tell them why you're so excited, what you learned about the difference between wealth and making money, and say that you'd want to introduce them to a woman in a vehicle that is helping people create phenomenal success and time and money freedom, would they be open to coming and joining and listening?
I'm in. Sorry, I'm in. You've sold me.
And then what you do is you put them in front of a tool and the tool does the presentation. Now, if you're a brand new person, you could invite your friends to listen to somebody. You could invite your friends to watch a webinar. You could invite your friends to listen to a CD. What it means is you don't have to have all the experts. You don't have to be a nutritionist. You don't have to know how a cell phone works. You don't have to know, all the ins and outs of travel. You don't have to know all the ins and outs of the products of most network marketing companies, because your job is to let the tool do the presenting for you. The company takes care of that. And that's where your duplication lies, because now you can have hundreds of people inviting people to be free and telling them the presentation is going to occur, but I'm going to put you in front of what we call a tool so you can watch it. That's the second key component. And for me, I tell people that way you get to learn and earn at the same time. You don't have to come in as the expert. You don't have to spend time studying ingredients and ins and outs of the workings of mechanical things. You are going to present them what you're excited about. So that's the power there.
And the great thing is a lot of this stuff you can do from home.
Oh my goodness. I have been working all day. I'm sitting on a couch with my laptop on my lap, and I've been working all day. I've spoken to people in Toronto, Atlanta, where else have I been today? Ottawa, Thousand Islands. I've spoken to people all over the place. I'm going to do a presentation later, and people are going to come in from all over the country, and my team's going to leverage my expertise, but the conference call is a tool that we're going to use, and we're going to talk about what's going on. It's powerful.
That's amazing, and it is. And I people have to use more and more of these things. I want to throw in a question here on my behalf and help others. Suzanne, it's one thing to have all these tools. I think some of the challenges sometimes people have in this industry is, and all different kinds of leaders have different ways of approaching things. How do you approach someone and invite them to come to something like this so that they're excited, ready to listen, and that they're going to show up?
That's a great question. And oftentimes the invitation is usually about, oh my gosh, I've got this great product, is this and that and the other, or I have this big, great business. And that's what most people do. And it's interesting because that's what kind of scares people, right? Yeah. What I've learned is to go out and really connect and listen. Connect and listen. So if I were talking with you, we'd probably just have coffee and we'd have a great conversation. I'd ask you, Carolyn, what's up in your life? And you'd probably start telling me, busy with the kids, working really hard, and I mean, we were talking earlier and you said, oh my gosh, you're in the South, I'd love to go on vacation. So if you were telling me, I'd probably go, when was the last time you were on vacation? And you might say to me, oh my goodness, it's been so long. And I'll say, wow, wouldn't it be great to be able to go on a vacation every 90 days? And you might say, yeah, it would be amazing. And I'd say, you know what? I have recently made some changes in my life because I was introduced to someone who showed me a way where I could create more freedom in my life, make more money, and live a lifestyle that I've only, I only dream about. I'd love to introduce you to her. If I were able to set up an appointment, would you be willing to meet with her?
So powerful.
Right? Now, I haven't talked about my company. I haven't talked about a product. I haven't talked about a business. I've talked about a lifestyle and opportunity to be free. I've talked about all the things that we all want, right? Because really, before I put anyone in to meet my person in front of a tool, I want to make sure that that's what they want. And I want to make sure that it's something that you want.
Absolutely.
Right?
Let me just add to this, too. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to add to this because I know that, and if this is done right, because I've actually done this and it works very well, so I know if it's done right, love to hear your feedback on this. In some cases, when it's appropriate and you're doing that conversation with somebody, because I meet people everywhere and everybody wants to talk to me. I think I have this thing that says on my forehead, tell me everything about you. So it's quite funny. And a lot of times I've done the same thing that you just did, but what I also do, and tell me how you feel about this, I'd love your opinion on this, but I'll also share a story. So I usually know the stories of a lot of people in this industry, and I'll think about one that totally fits the person and what they've been sharing with me. And as I do the invitation, I share with them the success that someone else in a very similar situation has had. I would love, as you said, continue the same conversation you had, but add that little story in and say, love to share with you this, have you speak to this person. What do you think about that?
Absolutely, and I do that all the time. And the power in that is that we can identify with people's stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And stories are heart filling, right? And so the thing is, when I hear someone's story and it's a story that I can relate to, I want to know more, right? I want to know more. And the reality is, in this profession, our goal is to become great storytellers and great painters of pictures. So when I talk to you and I talk about, she's been able to become financially free, and she's able to live life on her own terms, and she understands a few key things that we haven't yet learned. And what's happened is this is a woman that was working 40, 60 hours a week, and now she's traveling the world. She's doing things she's never done before. So you can start painting that picture of what's happening for someone else. And would you be interested in meeting her? People are going to go, yeah, I want to meet this person. Because the story is what we relate to. It's not the products that we relate to. It's the stories of people's lives that we relate to. And then the product, the company, the compensation is the vehicle that gets you there.
Absolutely. I agree. And it's that level of integrity of sharing that information and creating that emotional connection with somebody that really empowers them to trust you and come out and see what's going on. And I think more and more people need to get connected to that. And I always tell people, talk to the person like they're your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Have that real conversation with them without all the fluff and the pressure and I got to have this person. Attitude and just share.
Yeah, and the cliches,
Yes.
I remember, you just struck us just a memory. I remember I was in Dallas and I was sitting at the airport outside waiting for my friend to come up to me. And someone walked up to me and they said, you look like a smart woman. I have an opportunity I think you'd be perfect for. And I looked at him and I went, really? And I started laughing because it was so cliche. It was so non-connected to me. It was so like, you know nothing about me. I'm sitting here on a bench. And I thought, wow, but that's how most people do network marketing.
They do.
Right? And unfortunately, that's because they haven't been trained. They haven't been taught the skills. And that gets to my my next bucket.
Mm-hmm.
My next thing that's really vital is that there are skills to this profession, right? There are skills to this profession, and they are so subtle that most people think that great networkers just walk around and talk to people, and that there's no method to madness in what they say. And just when you were demonstrating, the telling of the story, the finding out what they want, all those things I was talking about, those are the skills. And I tell people that there are some key skills now, and I want to highlight one because you're speaking to it. One of the reasons that most people aren't successful is they don't treat this like a profession, and they don't stay around to learn the skills related to their profession. There's this quote there's this saying that says you've got to put in your 10,000 hours in any profession before you become an expert. Most people get into network marketing, they put in their 100 hours and wonder why they're not making that, the six-figure income. It's two things. Is one is you got to put in the time to learn the skills, and then you got to go practice the skills until they become a part of you. So the one skill that most people aren't trained in is the skill of connecting. Now, some people call it prospecting. I personally don't like that word. I like the word connecting, right? It's the ability to go out and connect with people in such a way that they believe that they're the only person that matters in that moment, and that you are listening so attentively, that you're listening in a way that that what you're listening for will change your life. And what you're listening for is actually how you can change their life, right? And it is the ability to connect from a place in a genuine way, eye contact, exchange of energy. You know, when people know that you're present with them, it's the ability to find out what's amazing about someone and compliment them. It's the ability to ask questions that have you find out about someone's family, about what they do for a living, whether they like what they do in their free time, what they like to do, what's their mission in life, what's their value on money, all those things. It's your ability to connect so that you ask those questions and you listen. And surely what you're listening for is what's missing in their life. What's missing for them, that if you were able to be of service and provide that to them, that you would just rock their world. And if you find out what that thing is, whether it's I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, I want to serve my community, my health is failing, I love recreation, but I don't have the means to do what I want to be home with my children, whatever it is, if you listen and you know what that is and you're able to say, I heard you say this, and I think I have a way that you can actually fulfill on that. Would you be open to spending some time with me? If you approach it from that way and you know the skills that allow you to get that conversation happening, people will come to you saying, show me what you have. Now those are skills. And the challenge is most people don't stay long enough to learn how to do those skills. And then they say network marketing doesn't work. It works if you treat it like a profession that deserves your time to master some skills.
That's so true. It's so important. I mean, you know, you don't sign a contract without reading it. You don't get involved in a commitment with an organization or you know, sign a legal agreement without reading it before. Why don't you read all the information and learn as much as you can about the profession that you're trying to get into? I find that so funny that, you know, people won't look into everything, won't read what it's all about, won't understand and ask questions. You know, I tell a lot of people that I work with, you're basically a fact finder and an information ambassador. You go out and find as much as you can about that person, and as you said, make them feel the most important person, and get all the information you can. And then you become an information ambassador once you find out how to work with them and what direction that you need to take to help them understand the benefits of what you're doing. And you become an information ambassador to provide them with the information they need to make a powerful decision for themselves, to make a huge change in their life.
Mm-hmm. And when they believe that it's all about them and it's not all about you, magic happens. That's the key.
Mm-hmm.
And it also becomes so powerful for you because you step into this place of service. And it's a brilliant place to live where you're able to serve people and help them fulfill on their dreams. It's powerful.
Now, you know, I want to clarify something there, Suzanne. And I love what you said, and I totally understand it. And this is also being recorded to be on my website, so this is an important point. We step in a place of service. I want to clarify, and you help me clarify this, because a lot of times people in term service is they do everything for somebody. And I want that to be very, very clear. That's not the case. You're not here to pull someone by the hand. You're not here to do everything for someone, because that is not duplicatable. And please, Suzanne, comment on that.
Absolutely. So when I say you step into a place of service, it's you step into a place, you know, I believe that when I share network marketing with someone, I'm giving them an opportunity, a gift that will allow them to change their life. And if I do it correctly and I listen for what's missing and I say I can help you achieve that, that's the service, right? Because it's not about me anymore. It's about I can help you get that thing, whatever it is that's missing in your life. I can teach you the skills. I can teach you a system. I can introduce you to a profession, a way of doing something that will get you that. You, however, have to learn the skills, understand the profession, put in the time, become your own expert, and take the actions necessary. But my service is I will make sure that I deliver all that information to you and support you as you learn. And you know, what you're talking about also is in my team we talk about practice, drilling, and rehearsing. And I go, you go out and you practice the skills. You rehearse the skills. You do it over and over and over until, someone who has once a disaster becomes the master of their profession. And that's what it is really just learning these skills that are related to a very special profession, and that will set you free. My service is to provide you with the information so that you can put in that time and become the master, right?
Beautifully said. I love it. At this point, again, if anyone has any questions while we're going along, just raise your hand or send me a message. And you can say, please ask it for me, or you could say you'd like to speak and share with us. So we're going to keep going. And again, anytime you have a question, you can ask me the question, or you can put up your hand, and I will make an appropriate pause, and we'll make sure we get your question answered. But again, Suzanne, beautifully answered. I appreciate that. I love to clarify things for people, because as we know, too, information, sometimes people make assumptions.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Continue, please.
So, and I think the last piece is this is where I think people miss the mark on this beautiful profession. So network marketing, in my opinion, is about developing leaders, right? Mm-hmm. And leaders my definition of developing leaders are people that will act independently of me. Independently of me. They will go off and do without me being present. And they will move and continue to move independently of me. That is powerful. And so my responsibility as a leader is to cultivate other leaders, not to cultivate followers, but to cultivate and develop other leaders. And I do so by having them understand the profession of network marketing, the Robert Kiyosaki cash flow, all those different things. It's by helping them understand the system. It's by helping them understand the skills. And then the last part is by helping them understand that the first person they must lead is themselves. So the first person they must develop is themselves. Mm-hmm. And if you think of it, it's like when you come into network marketing, in my opinion, you're like the acorn, right? And everything necessary for you to be that six-figure earner, that seven-figure earner, lives within you. And I believe so because my belief is that whatever your higher power is, they will not put a dream or a desire within you if you are not able to fulfill on it. So you've got everything in you. You're the acorn. My job is to water you, right? Water you with the skills. Water you with the system. Water you with the understanding of network marketing. Give you books to read. Identify CDs you want to listen to. Give you courses you might want to attend. I'm going to water you with the same thing someone watered me with. And what's going to happen is the acorn's going to sprout, right? The acorn's going to start to develop, and it's going to start to grow, and it's going to be, a little sapling that might be, not so strong. And as that acorn starts to practice the skills, it's going to get stronger and it's going to grow some more. And as it continues to practice and gain confidence, it's going to get stronger, it's going to grow some more. And suddenly, you're going to be a full-fledged tree, right? And my belief is in network marketing, our goal is to develop leaders who then in turn around and develop other leaders, independent people who act at their own will. And that's what makes that duplication happen. That's what creates your leverage. That's what creates your financial freedom. That's what creates what I call beach money. Your ability, the opportunity for you to go sit on a beach and know back home that there are other leaders in your system driving a business to which you're going to get paid on. Right? Our job is to cultivate leaders.
It's such a simple system. It's amazing how many people make it so difficult. It's so simple. It's so exact. And as you know, we've said, it's created the most millionaires in the world is the direct marketing industry.
Mm-hmm. And the most 6 and 7 figure earners for women than any other industry out there, right? And do you know that 80% of the network marketing profession are women?
Yep. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's fantastic. I love it. It's created a lot of possibilities for a lot of people, and that excites me, and that's why I also love the industry, Suzanne. And you're definitely an amazing example of a leader in the industry who is in service to support others to have success. That's evident just by being present with us today and sharing your knowledge and your experience, and focusing on how powerful this industry is and how much money people can truly make and change their lives and turn things around to, as you said, enjoy traveling. As you said, going away. I mean, I know you're somewhere right now where it's nice and warm and can go to the beach sometime today. I had to throw that in because we're all freezing here in Toronto.
That's the power of leverage, my friend.
Exactly. And having that capability to take your business anywhere when you've created that, used the system and created those leaders and can communicate with them no matter where you are. And that's the amazing thing, as you said, about conference calling, webinars, Skype. There's so many things and systems in place that we could use to support this. So, is there anything that you have to add at this point in time on this section?
I'm good. I'm good. I think it really is, the last piece, as I said, is, the most powerful tool in network marketing is your ability to develop leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the other thing that as you develop leaders, and this is the gift of it, is the skill set, the knowledge, and the leader that you will become in network marketing will prepare you for anything else you want to do. And the reason being is that in network marketing, you are leading a volunteer army. People follow because they choose to, not because they have to. People follow in network marketing because they are inspired by a vision that tells them that they can be free, that they can have more, that they can fulfill on their dreams. These are inspired individuals. And when you inspire them and they're following and you cultivate leadership, it is the most powerful thing. It is the most powerful thing. I think that's the final thing I want to add.
Yeah. I love your quote here because I think this says it all. The most powerful leadership tool you have is your own example. If you're going to do the work and you're going to have success and you're going to make the changes in your own life to create a powerful system and create leaders, you're going to have people that are going to follow and do the same because they're going to see you succeeding and they're going to want a piece of it.
Absolutely. I believe that the first person you and I ever lead is ourselves. And I actually kind of believe that the only person we lead is ourselves. We influence other people, and they lead themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
And that's powerful to be
It
an
is.
example for change.
It is. So again, thank you. We have a few announcements here. Unless anyone has any questions, you can again put your hands up. We've given you a lot of information here and a lot of perspective on this industry, which I think is so important because, as I said, one of the best industries in the world. It's been around for a very long time. And when you find the right leadership and you find the right company and you take it on as a profession and you choose to make a difference in your life and others, this is such a powerful system to create success for you and anyone that wants to follow you and be a part of what you do.
So well said.
So let's share some information. One of the things that I love to do is create opportunities with powerful, powerful leaders. And I handpick, just so you guys know, I handpick everyone that I do a webinar with. I handpick everyone that I do any kind of event with because it's really important to me that I'm bringing the absolute best to my audience. So we do have an amazing event that's coming up that really does help you learn how to powerfully public speak. And I think that's so important because it applies to what we do as network marketers as well. And it's called to communicate your expertise and attract new clients, drive your profits, and build your brand. And it's actually something Suzanne and I were touching on, is really that capability to share information, get them enrolled in what you're doing, get them excited and feeling connected to you, and wanting to take action because you asked them to. And doing it in such a powerful way, whether you're talking to one person or 1,000 people, the impact is still the same. I met this amazing woman, Tanya Trinovia. She was actually at my last event speaking. And, she actually works with entrepreneurs, corporate companies. She's been in the last 20 years in 40 countries, speaking internationally, and between training, inspiring. And she really does have the art and science of becoming a powerful speaker down pat. So we're having an event coming up on February the 9th from 9 to 5 on the Monte Casino Hotel. There's free parking there. This event is so powerful. You can literally go to www.supermomentrepreneur.com, as you can see at the bottom of the page. Check it out, get more details on exactly what the course entails, and it really does give you an opportunity to take your ability to speak to another level. So hopefully you can be a part of that and check it out. If you have any questions, you can also email me at supermomentrepreneur@gmail.com and get some additional information. Now, the next thing Susan and I would like to share with you is a nice shout out. I like to try and present different networking opportunities at the end of a webinar. This one in particular, both Suzanne and I will be at. So it's the Toronto Women's Expo, January 29th from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's a filled day with huge opportunities to listen to different speakers and, really get yourself out there and find out more information. I am going to be in the Coach's Corner offering 30-minute discovery sessions complimentary on me. So you could click the link that is at the bottom under Coach's Corner or copy it down. Again, you can also email me and I can send it to you. And book your 30-minute session with me and really, explore the possibilities for your business. And our amazing Suzanne is going to be on the main stage presenting The Brink of Burnout. Suzanne, can you share a little bit with us about what that's going to be all about?
Absolutely. Brink of Burnout is actually antidotes for 3 myths that impact your money, your marriage, and your mindset. And it is basically for anyone who feels that they're on the brink of burnout. These are the hard-working, result-oriented men and women who at times secretly feel isolated, overworked, and underpaid. And they have a desire to break free and find out how they can begin to live life on their own terms and begin to design the life of their dreams.
Wow. I haven't heard this talk yet, Suzanne. I am very interested. I know I've been there before.
We've all been there before. I can talk about brink of burnout because I've been there.
Absolutely.
And I think we've all been there. And there are solutions. There are solutions.
And that's the amazing part of it. So guys, I hope, gentlemen, ladies, I hope that you can join us here. Again, any additional information you're looking for, please don't hesitate to email me. Again, at supermomentrepreneur@gmail.com. At the beginning slide, we also shared Suzanne's information if you weren't able to copy it down and would like to get in touch with her or connect with her for additional information. please let me know as well, and I'll send you that information over to you. This webinar has been recorded, and it will be put up on my website. Give me a couple of days to get that done, so you'll be able to go back and listen to it and share it with friends. Our goal, or my goal, is really to help other entrepreneurs have success and have them have the capability to create anything possible. I see a question or something here. Let me just get over here. Before I end, go to question panel. I got a question here. Let's see what's going on. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me just do that. Powerful presentation, ladies. Lots of information to digest. Thank you. Oh, Barbara, thank you so much for being on the webinar with us. We so appreciate you. We're glad that we could provide you with this information and support you in your business. I know you're in the direct marketing industry, Barbara, and you're a phenomenal lady. So we are so pleased that we could provide this additional information. I'm also going to be having a bunch more webinars coming up every month. And up until my event, May 11th, my annual event, I am the boss, so it's all going to be focused on the direct marketing industry, and I have some additional powerful speakers just like Suzanne coming onto these webinars to share their expertise, their knowledge, and really support us in creating powerful businesses and having the success that they're having. And that's what I love about these amazing people, men and women, who've created this success. Is not only are they generous in creating these leaders and working with them and being in service, but they're also willing to be in service for everyone else in this industry by sharing their knowledge and information, and we're so grateful. Again, Suzanne, thank you so much for taking the time to be on this webinar to share your knowledge with us. We so appreciate you.
Oh, Carolyn, it is my pleasure to join you this evening, and thank you so much for just creating this space. I think it's a blessing for all of us, so thank you.
Thank you. So at that note, I'm going to end the webinar and have an amazing night. Enjoy the cold weather. Suzanne, enjoy the warm weather. And have fun. And we all aspire to be up there with you soon, enjoying the beach while we do our business.
Good night, everyone.